Hi everyone. So apparently I haven't made a video in about 3 years. um, well, a lot has happened since then, but wanted to talk to you about having cancer and how that I have dealt with all the difficult emotions that came with it at the time and afterwards. And so I was diagnosed with triple negative breast cancer in 2016, and although it still feels like 2015 now in my head for some reason, it's been like I think 2 months short of 5 years. I've been in remission. My hair's grown back. I've got like I don't know what you call this, Mowgli style cowlick kind of thing happening at the moment. I've cut it a few times. It pushed me back into my music, and cancer pushed me back into my yoga and my spirituality. And in a way, as some of the yogic scriptures have described, not just yogic scriptures, but pretty much most of the scriptures describe, when you experience adversity, it not only teaches you so much about life, about yourself, about other people around you, it also it turns your life around if you approach it in a helpful way. And I think that it took a very long while for me to come to terms with the fact that I had cancer. And it is very different when you have cancer at 35 versus when you have breast cancer in your 60s or even 50s, 60s, 70s, when you've already established your career and family and you've come to the later stages of your life versus sort of at the beginning stages of your life. You start thinking, oh no, I'm going to miss out. I'm going to not have a career anymore. Am I going to die at 35? That's too young. You start thinking about anything else other than where you're at that particular moment. And then you start living in the present, you start living in the past, and you start living in the future, but just not really in that moment where you can accept that things have happened. So one day there was you can probably find it in my videos, but there was an organization that did karaoke, but they're like a a live performing big band, and they called it Jazzaoke, which is pretty cool for me. So you get to do your songs, but like in front of a little audience, in like a cafe bar type jazz club sort of thing, and you get to sing with the whole band. And I can't remember how many pieces they had, how many piece band they had, but like it were at least, I think it would have been like 15 people in the band or something. It's a big band. And it was my first time doing anything like that. And up until then, I'd just been really just focused on my uni work. And by the way, I actually graduated. The placement nearly killed me, but I graduated with a Master's of Clinical Counselling. Just a side note, here in Australia, counselling is separate than psychology, so I'm not a psychologist. Although I did psychology in my undergrad and sociology, the counseling is separate. And it's weird because we have very different registration sort of requirements and this and that, but we do the same thing. So it's super confusing explaining it to people from countries who have just psychology as psychology, if it's counseling psychology or whatever. Anyway, so I was really focused on my studies, and one day I decided to take a little break, and so I went to this Jazz-Oki event, and I still had my, like, I lost all my hair. It was during chemo, and I didn't have any of my hair, and I was like, well, I'm going to a jazz club, I want to be fabulous. So I put a red wig on. I didn't tell anybody because, didn't want to bring the house down, in a not so nice way. And so I had my wig on. I had a red wig on, and you can find it in one of my singing videos a few years back. And it was interesting because it was the first time that I had a reason to believe that it wasn't as scary as something else. Like, I think maybe most people would probably take singing in front of a live audience versus having cancer. But for me, I had terrible stage nerves. I wouldn't say stage fright because I could still sing. But I don't feel that I had reached my full singing potential until that night. And it literally was the night that I had like a huge revelation about music. And it was just that here's cancer. And it's scary, it's so scary that you want to just dig a hole and hide in it and never come out. You want to just either end it or just try to wake up from a nightmare of some sort, but you can't wake up, so it's very scary. But then here's singing, which is also scary, and even actually, if there's any musicians or potential musicians out there watching this, please, for the love of God, God's universe, whatever else that you pray to or speak with, angels and ether in physics. If you have music in here, you have to do it. It doesn't matter if it's not to an audience. If it's just to yourself, if you've recorded it, or just strummed it or whatever, never ever stop doing it, because the people who tell you that you need a part-time job, that you need some sort of a backup plan, you need a plan B, you need to have an income, those are the types of people who have never actually attained their dreams. And those are the types of people who will say that because they don't know what it feels like to actually live something that they really believed in and they really love. Either that, or those are the types of people who deny who they really are on the inside, deep down inside, and what is very, very special to them. So don't listen to them is what I'm saying. Keep doing your music, because it's like taking a part of your heart and not being able to it's like taking a piece of your heart out and not being able to put it back if you stop. So I stopped for many, many, many years. And on that night, karaoke with a jazz band, I let go. And it's such a cliche word, letting go, that it's lost all its meaning. But anyway, for a lack of a better term, I let go. I surrendered to just where I was in that moment. God, I had the time of my life. And I'm pretty sure I only sang like 2 songs or something. But it was so much fun. And I never remember having that much fun performing. It was always just a panic attack, or like, oh my God, what's going to happen? You know, what if my voice cracks? I don't know, my pants falls off? I don't know, if somebody throws me an egg? You know, all these things that we think to ourselves. Anyway, so I sang as if it didn't matter if the notes were perfect or not. And before that, you know, even in some of the videos that I've recorded in the past, the video that you see was probably like the 200th take or something like that, because there's a little bit of something that just wasn't perfect for me. But this time was different, and I was in the club, and I was there with all the other people who were there to sing, and all the musicians, and there weren't many people there, so that helped a little bit. It wasn't a huge audience. And for the first time in my life, my voice sounded so different that night, like in a good way. It was just like so powerful, and I brought the house down all right, but it was in a good way. And people were like whistling and cheering, and cheering for their own family members and friends who were performing as well, and it was just so great. And I can't say that I would have sang in such a way had I not had this life-threatening, life-changing experience of having cancer. And I've been putting this video off for a very, very long time, because I just kept trying to think of how I would say all this. And then I was like, I'm just gonna say it. Like, I was like, my hair has to be right, my clothes has to be right, there's a fridge in the background, there's some box up there, there's like that door's open, there's a towel on the... Can't do it. I'll do it next week. And it's like 4 years later. And that was at a particular time during my cancer treatment that was really difficult, because I had just had my port, actually I don't know if you can see, it's my scar for the port. So it's like a little device that they insert into your skin, and it loops into your jugular vein into your heart or something. I don't know how it works exactly, but I had a complication of a big clot that formed in my jugular that the doctors missed, and I was so distressed. I couldn't sleep, I couldn't eat, I couldn't breathe. I was just like up every day going, I am going crazy, because I feel it. I feel something here, but the scans didn't have anything that came up when they did the initial scans. But 3 months later, finally my GP decided to do a scan, an ultrasound, and they found a 5 centimeter, which I think it is, what is that, like what's 5 centimeters in inches? I don't know, but it's about, is that like 5 centimeter clot lodged in my jugular. So there was something there, and because I'm quite self-aware and attuned to my body usually, I felt it there. But I did, you know, there was nothing that, and it probably formed over time. Anyway, so this night of jazz karaoke really changed my life. I went home and I just remember thinking, I was crying my eyes out, and I was thinking to myself, how have I lived 35 years of my life, whatever it was, 36 or something, I've lost track. I'm 40 now. How have I lived this long? And I started pursuing singing when I was like 14 or something. Because I started singing when I was, I don't know, as far as I can remember, really. And I just thought to myself, how can I possibly have lived this long without ever having experienced that freedom of just sharing my music, which is my voice, okay? Like a lot of people who are singers feel, like me included, feel really self-conscious because, you know, we're not like considered a real muso somehow. I don't know how that works. And I just thought to myself, this is amazing. It's a feeling that I've never had, and it's just the closest that I've had to having a spiritual experience at the time that I could think of. Anyway, so after that, I swore to myself that I'd get back to music, even if it just meant singing to myself, really. And I got back into my music somehow. I started learning guitar finally. It's overdue. I've given up the ukulele. Not given up, but like it it doesn't give me enough emotional depth in my in accompanying my singing. And so I started learning guitar, and it is so hard. Like for somebody who's never done instruments really before, except piano, but that was like on and off, and that didn't work either. It was too hard. I'm not great at instruments, but I'm learning. And now I can play a few basic songs on guitar, just the chords and stuff, which is fine because then I can at least, you know, accompany myself. And the other thing is that the cancer pushed me back into my yoga. Oh yeah, if you guys don't have Insight Timer, go and get that app because that is like the thing that got me through a whole year's worth of treatment, surgery, healing, shock of getting a cancer diagnosis. It's kind of not really like the other apps where you have like a guided meditation and that's it. But like it's actually a huge community of spiritual teachers. I think Russell Brand is there. I think he's on there. Definitely Eckhart Tolle is there. I think he has his own little group in there somewhere that you can join and have discussions and meditations and stuff. They have guided, but it's like worldwide. Worldwide, there are so many teachers that you can access through that app, and it got me through the 5 years of hardship that I experienced, and I'm still using it. Like I think it says on my profile that I've meditated for like 70,000 hours or something like that. No, minutes, not hours. I think minutes or something like that. So, and I did my, oh, actually, I haven't got my mala beads here, but I did my mala mantra, japa meditation nearly every day because I had to. And I know it sounds really bad that I used it as a bit of a crutch, but it got me through. And also the Insight Timer app got me through because it was just so soothing having somebody talk to you, and they have music and things on there as well. They have live videos now. Anyway, I don't work for them or anything, but I am hoping to get a couple of meditations of my own on there one day. So it's pushed me back into my yoga, and the yoga helped to soothe me when I was distressed to the point where I just thought, I've been through a lot in my life. I've been through a lot of hardship in my life, but that was really, that was the biggie, the cancer stuff. And for me, the meditation and yoga and everything helped me through that. So I might just leave it there because I've been talking on for like 20 minutes or something. So I'm hoping to get some songs happening on this channel, and also I'm gonna start actually putting my yoga teacher training to good use finally, and hopefully get a couple of meditation things on here for you guys, so that we can, I hope, sit together, meditate together, and heal together. So I had a spiritual awakening a few months ago, but I'll talk about that next time. I tend to make these videos way too long, and I look at all the other YouTubers, and their videos are like 5 minutes long and really interesting, and I'm just like, who's gonna watch this? But of the few people who are watching this, thank you very much for watching, and thanks very much for staying with me as a subscriber on this channel if you are still here. Yeah, that's it. I think let's survive together, heal together, and thrive together. I think God, that sounds like a like it should be a little mantra or something. Okay, I'm gonna stop talking because like I think like I saw a video where Eckhart Tolle was like talking about him being on stage the first few times, and he's like, what do I say? Like, what if I run out of things to say? And for me, it's kind of the opposite. I'm just like, well, blah, 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 and then I say a whole bunch of things that's probably not great. These glasses make my eyes look really small. Does that make a difference? Anyway, all right. You guys have a good time doing whatever you do, and yeah, I'll talk to you next time. I don't know why I'm ending this like it's a phone call or something, but there you go.